Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Hole. My name is Cole, and today we're going to be doing my third entry into my best albums of all time series. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite bands, Future Islands, and this is their album from 2010 called In Evening Air, which, by the way, I love this album cover. For all you gamers out there, it really makes me think of Final Fantasy VI, the artwork for that game. You know, that's my nerdy reference. But anyway, I love this album. For me, they have at least three really good albums. And this was the first one that really hit home for me from these guys. And it's probably their most artistic sounding album, because the other two singles being their most well-known it's got a more commercial, mainstream, polished sound. This one feels a lot more raw, and that's one of the reasons I love it. But anyway, let's get right into it. So just quickly before getting into track one, Walking Through That Door, I forgot to mention that the sound of this band, especially on this album, is kind of a mix between, synth pop and new wave, but with a very artistic, raw type of feeling. So that's kind of the vibe you're going to get. But anyway, this is track number one, Walking Through That Door, and I have a clip of it, so let's listen. I love this beginning. It's so creative, and immediately you can tell that this band basically has their own sound, which is something that I cherish whenever it comes up. For a band to have its own sound in, 2010 is when this came out, is pretty special. And I love the synth sound on this track. I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. I guess it's kind of like a sci-fi-esque type of thing going on, but I love it. And just the way that Samuel Herring sings the lyrics with that kind of throaty, raw, deep way that he sings, I just love it. And lyrically, and this is going to be common throughout the album, I don't think that this album excels lyrically, and by that I mean, the lyrics are very poetic, but it's hard to decipher them. Nothing in particular stands out, but what does stand out are the ways that he phrases vocal melodies. So the melodies are great. In terms of what he's saying, I think most of the time I have trouble trying to figure it out, but maybe you guys can figure it out for yourselves. But anyway, I love this beginning. It's a very explosive beginning. It's a great way to start the album. And it's one of my favorite tracks. Yeah, that's all I have to say about track one. Okay, track two, Long Flight. This is my personal favorite song from the album. So let's have a listen. Just an excellent beginning. I love how it slowly builds up. The bass playing starts. I love the bass in this song. And in the background, probably my favorite part of the song is the synths, which for me have a very hypnotic feel. The entire song, I just feel like I'm in this hypnotic trance, because the synth goes burr, 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 like that. And I don't know what it is. I just absolutely love it. I think this is a great start to the song. But with that said, I have another clip for you guys, so let's listen to it.
So I was biting to your ear. Who are you thinking about? You couldn't move, and you can't look me in my eyes anymore without the rivers to tend. 'Cause you remember my love.
So lyrically and vocally, this is probably my favorite part of the song. The song itself is about infidelity in the sense that I guess this guy, you know, Samuel's character has been gone for a while. And while he was away, his girlfriend or wife or whatever was cheating on him, as he says in the song, just because she needed a hand. But I like the way that he does the vocal melodies for this line in the clip in particular. I think it's really good. And it's one of the few songs on the album that's a little easier to understand. Again, the album as a whole is not the greatest lyrically in terms of, you know, being obviously really good. Not a bad thing, again. I'm not saying that that's like a huge downer, but it is something I noticed, so might as well bring it up. But yeah, that's all I have to say about track 2, Long Flight. Okay, track 3, Tin Man. I only have one clip for this song, so let's check it out. Just an amazing part of the song. It really stood out to me. The bass playing coupled with the synth sound, and just the way that Samuel phrases the melodies here just blew me away. And the lyrics, from what I can gather, are, you know, this guy has been unlucky in love. You know, he thought he found somebody, but it didn't work out. And, you know, he's admitting to himself that he's got a lot to learn about himself, about love, and he hasn't found the right one yet. You know, so that's kind of how I interpret the song. It's something everybody goes through. You know, you thought you found the right person, you thought you found the one, but just things didn't work out. But anyway, I think this is probably my favorite part of Tin Man, so that's why I clipped it. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Let's move on to track number 4. Okay, track 4, An Apology. So this song is interesting for a couple reasons. So I have 2 clips lined up that I want to play for you guys. So let's start off with clip number 1. So I just wanted to mention, you know, do a little tangent on, you know, why do I take certain clips of songs? One reason would be the way that the singer sings a melody really stands out to me. Another would be if the lyrics are really interesting, you know, I want to highlight that. And then the third is just very basically, if I hear a part of the song just absolutely stands out in a beautiful way sonically, I want to share it with you guys. You know, I'm pretty terrible at describing a sound without you just hearing it I figured it's a lot more interesting if I just play it for you so you can, hopefully understand and hear the beauty in the clip and what I'm trying to, I'm trying to say this is what I thought was really cool. So with that said, I mean, this is just another fantastic beginning. Almost every song in this album starts off really well. Although I will say that if you've been paying attention, there is a bit of a pattern to how each song starts. They kind of build up in the same type of way, which is not a bad thing. If it's not broken, don't fix it. But it is something that you can notice. I noticed it after a while. But it doesn't bother me. It shouldn't bother you. It's just, it is what it is. But anyway, that was a long tangent. So with this song, there's another clip I've got lined up for you that I thought was the perfect way to describe what I mean by this album is very raw. So you'll see what I mean. So let's check out clip number 2.
I was learning the best, but I was sitting there from the fence. Here in my chest where you burst, I get the crash and the weight of the world. So far away, so far away, so far away, so far away.
So yeah, to me, that's a pretty important clip because, it demonstrates something I like about this band in the sense that every now and then Samuel Herring just kind of goes straight from the gut. He makes it very personal, very human, just the way that he kind of goes overboard a little bit. I don't know who produced this album, but I would imagine like a mainstream, producer would hear that take and be like, that is just way too much. Like, no, we got to polish that. But the fact that they left this in, they left this vocal take in, I think was kind of an interesting and brave choice. Even though I don't think it works entirely necessarily, like I don't think it's bad, but it's different. So I appreciate that. I like it when a band is different, even if it doesn't work necessarily. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this song. I'd love to hear what you think about this take. Do you like it? Do you think it's stupid? Do you think it's really cool? Whatever you have to say about it, mention it in the comments. But yeah, again, that's all I have to say about this song. Okay, so track 5, which is the name of the album, In Evening Air, is an interlude, so it's not really worth talking about. So track 6 is the next interesting song. It's called Swept Inside. And there's a couple things I wanted to clip that are just kind of sonic high points for me, highlights. I'm not entirely sure what the song is about, so I'm not going to go into it. I tried to figure it out and I couldn't do it. But anyway, here's clip 1. Let's listen. So again, as I mentioned previously, it's got a very similar slow build up like a lot of the other songs do. And again, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But I love the bass playing. I love the kind of swirling synth sound, I guess is how you would describe it. And like track 2, Long Flight, it's a very hypnotic, trance-inducing sound, which I just like. I mean, the whole thing is gorgeous. It's just another gorgeous beginning, a common theme on this album. And, it's good enough where I thought it was worth sharing. So I shared it. So clip 2 has to do with the vocal melodies. I think even though I don't necessarily know or understand the lyrics very well, I like how he says some of the lyrics. So I'm going to clip my favorite part of the song from a vocal standpoint. So let's listen to it.
Streets in the days at night. She says nothing seems the same, and I can't change a thing. My body's like a wave breaking to the sea. She says everything seems strange, locked behind the years, but life is ours to find in the days at night.
So again, this is my favorite part of this song. I just really enjoy how he phrases the vocal melodies. And to be honest, it's really the only part of the song that I can kind of try and guess what the lyrics are about. You know, I guess what he's trying to say is that, you know, she doesn't feel the same anymore about the relationship, I'm assuming. And there's just nothing that he can do to fix it, you know. I guess that he's still in love with her and he's trying to like fix the relationship, but you know, it seems like there's just nothing that can be done about it. I don't know if that's what the entire song is about. That's what this small portion seems to be about, and I kind of like it. But in general, just sonically, I think this is a really interesting clip. It's my favorite part of the song, and I wanted to share it. So with that said, let's move on to the next track. So unfortunately, track 7, Inch of Dust, is the only song in the album that I don't really like. I don't think it's a bad song. There's just nothing about it that stands out to me at all. So in that way, it's a disappointment. You know, again, it's a solid song. It's totally fine, but nothing spectacular really. So the next song that I want to talk about is track number 8, which is Vireo's Eye. I believe that's how you say it. And again, another excellent beginning. You know, it's got a killer bass line. It's got the same kind of build-up as the other songs, but this time they throw in what I imagine is a guitar. I'm assuming that's what the sound is. You'll hear it in the clip. But I really, really like it. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. But anyway, let's get right to the clip. Again, so like I mentioned before the clip, you know, I really, really enjoy what I imagine is that guitar part, you know, I can't even do it, but you know what I mean. And the bass playing is great. You know, I'm beating a dead horse when I say that every song basically has the exact same build-up. But it is what it is, you know, I guess it's worth mentioning. This is my favorite part of the song. You know, I don't really know what the song is about, which is fine. But it's just another beautiful beginning, and I wanted to share it. So, with that said, let's check out the final track on the album and play a clip or two.
I can't touch you anymore. I can't tell you how I feel as a fool in the war. Heavy hearts do bury words under promises and anything you want you'll have.
So, I would probably say this might be my favorite vocal clip of the entire album. Just the way that he phrases it is just really, really lovely. Very memorable. And, you know, again, the lyrics in this album are pretty dense, pretty poetic, so I don't exactly know what he's trying to say half the time. And, you know, you guys might be a little annoyed by that, but it is what it is. This is an album that you just love for how beautifully recorded it is. It's got a very raw feel to it. Each song, despite being kind of similar in how they build up, is just absolutely filled with great sonic hooks and melodies. And, you know, despite not liking Inch of Dust, I like every other song tremendously. It's one of my favorite albums. It's not my favorite Future Islands album. Some people might be surprised that my favorite is actually The Far Field, which actually had to grow on me a little bit. At first I thought it was kind of samey. Well, by that I mean it was a little bit too similar to Singles. But anyway, I'll get into that album eventually and talk about it. But An Evening Air is an absolute must listen, in my opinion. It might be my favorite album from 2010, although for me, and I'm going to do my video, I'm going to do my next video on this album, but I think probably my favorite from from that year would be A. Vigoda's Crush, which is another kind of new wavy, arty album. But anyway, if you haven't heard Future Islands, in my opinion, they were the best band of the decade. I love that they have their own sound. You know, I love Samuel Herring's energy, his rawness, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the David Letterman performance of Seasons Waiting on You from their album Singles, that was my first introduction to the band. And it's just such a bizarre performance, but in a really cool way. And even David Letterman was just like blown away by it. And, you know, I think it was a viral video. It's really cool. I highly recommend checking it out. But anyway, final thoughts. Great album. Very artistic, very lovely. You know, that's all I have to say about it. If you like the video, you know, please like and subscribe. Share your comments below. I love to hear all of your thoughts. And I just want to make a quick mention that, you know, it really would help if you liked and subscribed, simply for the fact that because I clip songs, I don't make any money from this, which is fine. Like, I'm totally fine with that. I'm doing this as a hobby because when I hear a song and I'm excited by a song, all I want to do is share it. And, you know, if you don't like the song, that's fine. If you like the song, that's awesome. So just knowing that, you know, at least one or two people out there appreciates what I'm doing, you know, helps my motivation at the very least. So anyway, that was a long rant. Yeah, so in Evening Air, check it out. I hope you guys have a good one.